macOS is the main operating system that I use since around 2005. So in this video, I will show you a few tips that I use to use your Mac with more efficiency and some things that I tweak right away if I don't want to get crazy. So let's start with the setting number 1, dark mode. So we go into system settings and then appearance, and it's right over there, dark. So much better. Bonus, while we're there, just a little lower, you see show scroll bar just right here, set it to always. This way, you see that scroll bar just right here. Well, it's just not there otherwise. You can see it when you move, but it's not always there. If you put it always there, you know when there's actually something to scroll. Now we move on the left, there is that wallpaper over there. What I do is I set this one to just black. Yes, I know it's boring. A lot of people ask me, how do I do to pass so many time every day in front of a screen? Well, that's the way. I set the most thing I can to black and I have no problem with my eyes, yet. Second point, we move to the trackpad settings. So this one is still into system settings and we find it just right here, trackpad. It should be already like that by default, but I set the tracking speed to the fastest one. I think it's huge, it's perfect when it's at the fastest. The next one is already driving me crazy and it's that tap to click. So actually, as you can see, I need to click to enable it. Now I can just tap to disable it. You see, if I just tap, it doesn't do anything. So I actually have to click. And now I can just, you see, just tap instead of clicking all the way down. The next one might not be so popular, but I move to scroll and zoom and I disable the natural scrolling. Because I just grew up like that. When I move my finger, I'm moving this scrolling bar and not the actual things. So it just makes more sense in my head to scroll the unnatural way. The next one, very important, we will move to accessibility just right here. And we will go down to pointer control and trackpad option. We will enable use trackpad for dragging. So I enable that and I change the dragging style to 3-finger drag. So this way, instead of having to use one finger and press all the way down and move it, just like that, I can just use 3-finger that I don't need to send all the way down and just move it just like that. It's just so wonderful. The next thing is that you will take your 4 fingers and you will move them up just like that. You go up right here and you had some desktop. Usually 4 should be fine, but that's up to you. So now we have the perfect trackpad. See how does it work? So with 1 finger we can move the mice. With 1 finger still I can tap and click. If I press with 2 fingers, it's a right click like on the mouse when you do the right click, so it's the secondary click with 2 fingers just like that. With 3 fingers you can drag anything where you want. When you swipe up, let's say that I open a few other window, if I swipe up just like that with my 4 fingers, I can see all the window that is open actually on this page. And if I use my 4 fingers and I move it from left to right, I can go to another desktop. So if I want to have one with Safari, another one with Maps, well, now you can see I can move from a desktop to another, see all the page on this one, move to the other one, and it just works so wonderfully, just like that. Third point, The dock. The dock is that little guy down the screen. And the most important thing to know about the dock is that you don't really need it. Yeah, it's cute and you have all of your software over there, but there's something much more powerful on your Mac, and it's the Spotlight search. Okay, for example, if I want to reach the dock settings, I could go to right here into System Settings, and then search for the dock settings, where it is. I'm seriously looking for it. Oh, just right here, desktop and dock. And there we are. We can do what we have to do. Or I can use the Spotlight search. So to enable the Spotlight search, you do Command Space, and you got the Spotlight search. And now you just type in what you want. So I will say dock, and oh, dock settings, enter, and there I am, right. Spotlight search can really search for almost anything. You looking for software? So let's say Final Cut. Yeah, I got Final Cut. You see, I just type in F and I have Final Cut. If I put in some more, it already selected me Final Cut, and I can just press enter and Final Cut open. That's it. You can search for a file, you can search for photo, video. This will be hard actually because it's a brand new session and there's nothing in, but I could looking for anything. And well, you see I have article and well, you've got a lot of stuff here. You could look for the weather. So yeah, actually I'm in Granby, it's snowing and it's -1 outside, yeah. But I could also want the weather in Tokyo. There I have it. I could search for a cat video. So I will find cat video, on YouTube. There we are, cat video on YouTube. Got it. Okay, we can also calculate. So Command Space, let's say 32 multiply by 2.6. Okay, you wonder how long 4 meter is. So 4M, that's it. It's 13 feet and 1.48 inches. Oh, you want it in yards. Oh, 2 yards. There we have it. Okay, how cool is 0 Celsius? It's 32 Fahrenheit. Okay, even better. How much worth 20 pounds? 32 and 91 Canadian dollars. That's just right now. Oh, you want it in yen? 2 yen. There we have it. You want to access the calendar? Just start typing CA. It's just right there. We have it. Okay, so since Spotlight search is this powerful, you see that you don't really need all those stuff down here. So the first thing that I will do is that I will remove everything that I will never use, and I will only keep what I will use the most often. And don't worry, you can remove a lot of stuff. You can always add it back there later. And that's the only thing you have to do to remove something. You take your 3 finger, you move it up, and bye-bye. Okay, so we return to that dock settings, and I will enable automatically hide and show the dock just right here. So now I've got more real estate. I also like to add some magnification. It was like that by default before, and I just like it that way. Another thing that I will disable is this show recent application in dock. So as you can see now I have Final Cut here that is into those little space. Those are the recent application. So if I turn this off, it's not there anymore. And like I said, if I open Final Cut again, if you want to keep it in the dock, you will right click on it with your 2 finger, you will move to option and you will say keep in dock. So this way, the next time that the app will be turned off, it will remain there. And as you can see here, the application that have a little dot just underneath are the ones that are turned on. Quick tip, just like that. Okay, and if you see me moving very fast over here, it's because I use all those shortcuts. When you want to close a window, you use Command W for whoosh. When you want to turn on another one, a new window, you use Command N for a new. And when you want to quit a software, for example, this one, the calendar, if I want to quit it, I use Command Q for quit. So that's the way I navigate inside the Mac. So the fourth point is to upgrade the Finder display. For this, we will use a Finder window. So as I told you, I use Command N to bring up a new window. And by the way, that is the menu bar up top, just right here. And it shows you the software you are using right now. So if I'm into Calendar, I've got the Calendar menu bar. And if I go into the Finder, I've got the Finder menu bar. So if I go to one to another, you can see it switch right here on top. That's the way it works. So when you are into Finder, you will reach the Finder settings. So for this, you will use Command comma, and it's always like that. For any software you're on, if you use Command comma, this will bring you the software settings. First thing I do over here is that I will check this one, hard disk, so I can see my hard disk just right here on my desktop. And I will also select connected servers. So if I'm connected to a server, eventually it will just show up right over there. Then I will move to tags and I will just disable them all. I just never use it. I don't understand why I would need it, so I just disable them all. While we are in here, we're gonna move to the next one here, the sidebar, and just disable anything that you think you will not use and enable what you will use. Then we move to the last tab in Advanced, and right here, keep folder on top in window when sorting by name. This way, inside a folder, your subfolder will not be all messed up with all your other files. Just under this option, you find when performing a search, search the current folder. So this is that search just right over here. When you search for something, you see it can search on this Mac or in the folder. Actually, if I go into something and I do search, there's nothing, but you see it search into document instead of the whole Mac. By default, it's in the whole Mac, and I just find that when I'm using it, I always manually change it to the document I'm in. You can still search for the whole Mac, but by default, it will be inside the folder and the subfolder that where you are. Okay, we can now quit that Finder settings page, and we will go into View and Show Tab Bar, like that. So from there, you can enable multiple tabs from the same window. Again, in View, we will enable Show Path Bar. So this one is right here at the bottom. So if I go into, let's say, Document, and I had a new folder, new one, and I go inside here, you can see, well, everything. You can see where you are in which sub folder. And what is great about this, let's say that I create another one, new 2, you can move back to another one. So you can skip back from a few folder, and you can also take something and drag it to another one. And it's right there, so it works so much better. Again, we go into View and we enable Show Status Bar. So this one is at the bottom right here, and it told you how much item there is into that folder and the space remaining on your disk. And you select something, you can see how much file or folder you have selected on the whole thing. The next thing that I will do is that I will show everything as a list. So this way I can class my stuff by name, by date modify, by size, by kind of folder. Actually, you can't see that much because there is not much to see, but you can organize your thing way much better when it's organized as a list. Actually, I will move to my main session so we can do some examples. Okay, so we are back into my session, and here I have a screen with some stuff. Like you can see, there is some PNG, PDF, JPEG. So if I set it by kind, they are all together. You see PDF. I can set it by date. The folders always stay on top because that's the way I configure it. I can set it by size, and well, actually those are pretty small size, but you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so the next powerful things we will see inside Finder is the spacebar. It can do a lot. Actually, it can preview pretty much everything. So actually I'm here on some pictures, so I will hit spacebar and I can see the picture. I want to move to the next one, I will hit the arrow and navigate over there. I can see also video, so just spacebar.
Salut! Hey! Depuis...
There's the video playing. I can go inside of it. I can move where I want, and I watch video just like that. I never open QuickTime. It's just spacebar and I got it. You can also see documents. So if I take this one, all right, this one, got it, and even better, if I'm on this one and I need to sign something over there, I can just move over here. You see there's a pen just right here, and I can apply my signature. Actually, I have one already saved, but otherwise you can create one with the trackpad. So I will take my signature just right here and put it there, resize it. So when that's done, you hit done and it's safe. It's just like that. Now you have your signature onto it. Oh, you want to add some drawing? Well, you can do that. You can also add some text. Here we've got the text bar, text just right here. Okay, and you type in whatever you want and you move it. Final things over here. On the left, just right here, if there is something that you use very often, a folder that you use very often, that might be very far. Let's say, for example, I use something inside workspace, into that folder, into audio and art list. This one I use it very often, so I just move it just right there. And now on all of my window, when I want to access art list, well, I have my music that I need to class by list. I don't use it this much often on that computer, that's why. Number 5 is installing Google Chrome. Of course, Safari is probably the best browser for your Mac, but what I really love about Google Chrome is that I can use the very same browser on my Mac, on my Android phone, and if I had a Windows computer, I could use the same browser and they would be all synced together. So this let me share my history, my bookmark, my password, everything. So everything that you see over here is just like that on all my devices. Also, Google Chrome have way more extension than Safari. For example, I use this one for my Gmail checker. There's also those one for my affiliate links that I use very often that are surely not into Safari. I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure they're not there. Oh, and there's also this one that I love. So if, for example, I go to this website, it's all white. As I told you before, I like everything when it's in dark mode. So this side doesn't have a dark mode, so I can use Deluminate and say smart keep image normal or smart invert. Usually that do something great. Yeah, smart invert. So you see now I just have a dark website. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Google Chrome for many reasons, but I'm a YouTuber. Google put bread on my table every day and pay for the roof over my head every month. So I love that company. By the way, that video is sponsored by myself. So if you want to do a super thanks, I would be super grateful. Number 6, install Bartender. And this one is a recent one for me. I never felt I needed it before, but since Apple had that stupid notch on top of their laptop screen, well, I've got trouble with some icons that just hide under it because there is no more space for them. And yes, they just hide, and there's absolutely no way to make them show up unless I shut down some other application until I got it. Maybe they will eventually come up with a solution and present it in a keynote as a wonderful idea for macOS 27, but in the meantime, Bartender is just what I need. When I move up my mice right over here, it creates an additional menu bar that can pass under that stupid notch. So, thank you, Bartender. Oh, and well, they do that for just a few bucks. Totally worth it. Number 7, install iStat menu. Actually, I need to turn on my NAS to show you something. Okay, let's do an example. Let's say that I take that file, this is in my computer, and this is on my NAS, my network attached storage. So it's not on the computer, it's physically in my office. So I will take that file and move it here. I will see with something, I can see that it is transferring, but you see now it's stuck, it moved a little bit, it stopped. Is it actually doing something? Is it stuck? Do I have a network problem? At what speed is it transferring? Well, I get it with the information on top, just right here in the upper right corner. This one shows me at what speed is it transferring right now and what is actually transferring on my computer. There's actually worse. I can cancel that one. Now, if I take that file and I transfer it to, this is AirDrop. AirDrop is fantastic, but if I take that file and move it to there, okay, it's loading. Now I'm seeing something. Okay, actually I'm seeing something. That's a bit better than I thought. The other day I did transfer something big. Okay, actually I'm seeing the progress. I think that's an update from Ventura. The other day I didn't have it. But still, I'm not able to see at what speed is it transferring or just whatever. If I quit that page, I don't know if it's still working. Actually, it doesn't seem to be working. That's weird. That is weird. It is not transferring. Is it because I quit? You see, it's poorly. Is it transferred? I don't know. I don't know if it's transferred. Whatever. So, iStat menu. What it gives you is that it gives you the ability to see what happened on your computer. So this is on the network. I can see what is transferring what right now, what is using internet, what is using the network. I also got it for my processor. I've got my CPU, I've got my GPU, not on that computer. Okay, so whatever. If we come up here, you see you can have your actual transfer for the last hour, day, week, and the month. You see how does it work? You have a lot of information just right over here. If you move to CPU, you can see actually what CPU is actually working, what does make that computer work. So if you ever have trouble, if your computer is laggy and you want to know why, well, this will tell you what software use all your computer right now. So you can turn it off, reset it, whatever. It also got that just right here, weather, that I think it's wonderfully well done. That one is a little fee every year, but it's just a little something. And it does a bunch of stuff. So if we come here, you have a lot of window that you can enable. You have sensors. Actually, it's not working on the new M1. But you can also have fan control, and there's a lot of things you can do with iStat menu. I highly recommend it. It's very geeky, and I just love it. Oh, and there's one other thing that it does right here. You see, instead of saying that, well, by default, Apple does just show the battery icon. This one tell you your charge level, your health, and if I disconnect it, it will take maybe some few minutes, but it will eventually tell me how much time I have left depending on what I do. And if I connect it back, it can take a minute or two, whatever. If I connect it back, it will tell me how much time I need to let it plug in until it's full charge. Very well done. The next thing that I will do is to set up my computer in 24-hour mode. So if we look at the upper right corner, just right here, I can see that it's already in 24-hour mode. That's, you go inside Spotlight Search and you do for clock menu bar and use 24-hour mode. All right, already in. And it's just right here, use a 24-hour clock. Actually, it's grayed out because it's already in 24-hour mode inside the other place. So let me show you. If I look for a date and time, set date and time, just right here. 24-hour time is just right here. So the previous one was for the one on the upper right corner, and this one is for the one you can see into Finder. So actually you can see 24-hour mode. If I disable that one, you see PM just right here, but it remained like that over there. And now it's on grayed out on the previous one. Whatever. You have to move it inside those two menus to get it. I don't know why it's like that, but it's like that. Number 9. Look on the upper right corner just right here, hit the clock and you have some widgets. Actually, I don't use any widgets, so I just remove them all so that frees some CPU power. If you want to use it, that's fine, you can keep it, but if you don't use it, well, disable it, you don't need it. Number 10, install a VPN. Actually, I'm using VPN Unlimited because they had an affordable price for a lifetime subscription a few years ago, and that's just what I take, and it does the job for me. It doesn't say it's the best, there's a lot of them out there. I've got a link in the description if you want to buy one, but that's the one I use. A VPN is practical for your own security when you want to use your computer on a public network or when you want to access something that is just available in some other countries. From there, you can select the country you want to be connected from and select it, and there you go. The next thing that I will do is to install Dropbox. I'm not using iCloud. I'm not a big fan of it. Actually, I don't use it at all. I use Dropbox for everything. Actually, my needs for storage is quite high as a videographer. I do a lot of terabytes of files every year. So I've got the unlimited package from Dropbox and I just put everything there. And their service is just so good if you want to share a file, if you want to ask for files, so your client can deposit some files to your computer or to your Dropbox or whatever. It's just working so well. And it also comes with some other perks like legal e-signature. You got a software to record your screen with a camera and the microphone. That's also very well done. And you have some little perks just like that. And do you know the rule if you don't want to lose your file? It's that you need to always have 2 copies, and those 2 copies must never be at the same place. So Dropbox is my secondary place. I've got my files on my NAS in my office, and I've got the files into Dropbox. My whole computer is instantly back up to Dropbox. So if my computer explodes in the next second, I won't lose anything. Number 12, screen recording. Did you know that your Mac has a built-in software to do it? Well, let's see it. When you do Command-Shift-3, your Mac will do a screenshot of your whole screen and save it to the desktop. Actually, Dropbox moved it for myself to another place, but that's what it does normally. And the screenshot is just right here. I've got the screenshot. Otherwise, you can also do Command-Shift-4, and this will let you select the part of the screen that you want to screenshot. So let's take this, and I've got a screenshot of that window. Again, going to the desktop in the next seconds, and well, now Dropbox moved it for me. And it's just right here. I've got my screenshot. If you had Control to the equation, Control, Command, Shift, 3 or 4 as you wish. So let's take that part here. This, take a screenshot, but just copy it to clipboard so you can paste it somewhere else. And finally, this one I won't be able to do it actually because I'm screen recording my screen already. But if you do Command-Shift-5, this will let you screen record your screen. So every shot that you see since the beginning of that video is from the built-in software you got in macOS. That's what I did at the beginning of that video. I did Command-Shift-5 and record my screen. Number 13, hotkeys. You don't like those shortcuts? That Command-Shift-3, 4, and Control Command-Shift-4. Too complicated for you? You can change it. So you go into Command space or Spotlight search and you look for keyboard right here, and we will go into keyboard shortcut just right here, and you got screenshot over here. You see, it's what I told you. Command-Shift-3, Command-Shift-4, Command-Shift-5, and you can modify it. So if I want to set Command-Shift-2 for this one, Command-Shift-2, got it. I just changed it. I will set it back to the original one. I'm just used to it. Command-Shift-3. All right. And while you're there, take a look at all the other shortcuts that are available, and you might discover something interesting for you. Oh, and that is not just limited for the Mac OS native stuff. If you are a shortcut freak like I am, move to App Shortcuts, and you got here all applications. So if you have some application that just go their way and have different kind of shortcuts, you can modify it just right here. As you can see, I did already some. You just hit the plus, you select all application or the one you want. You input the title of it the same way as you see it into the menu bar. You input the very same thing and you input your keyboard shortcut, it done, and it will be like that in all application or the one you just want to modify. Number 14, disable notification. So for this one, we will look in for notification right here and disable all of what you don't want to have. By default, there was way too much notification. Make it so that there is as less as possible so that when you have a notification, you know that it matters. And the very last point, the desktop folder. Are you one of those who have a bunch of files piled up on your desktop computer? Well, even if I tolerate it on my physical desktop, it drives me crazy to have something on my computer desktop. But I know it's just practical to drop off all your stuff over there. So what I will do is that I will create a desktop folder. And instead of putting everything on my desktop, I will set it into my desktop folder. So right in there. So this is the stuff that I will put it there temporarily, just between the time that I move it to a permanent place. Actually, I don't use it that much anymore because I just file up my stuff right away. So this was the most important things that I do when I set up my Mac. There is probably some other tweaking that I did not think about, but you got the big lines. Did I forget something? Please let me know what is the most important thing you have to modify right away when you set up your Mac. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, take care, and I see you in another video. See ya!